guys, how's it going? Today we've got some beautiful things to plant out in the garden, but we're going to start off with a little bit of work on the apple trees in the orchard first. Right here we've got our Fuji apple tree and it is just loaded with fruit. It's got so many beautiful apples on it. Look at right in here, my goodness. And on the other side of the orchard, we have our Honeycrisp, but we will move to that one next. I've got two goals for the apple trees. We're going to thin the fruit, and we're also going to bag the fruit that remains on the trees to keep the worms out of the apples. And I'm trying this approach instead of spraying this year. So you can see on this branch right in here, there were actually like 3 apples. I took it down to 1 nice looking apple and then put this little mesh bag over it. It's got this little drawstring so you can close the bag right below the apple, kind of like on its stem. And there's plenty of room in this bag for the apple to still form up. It gets light, it gets air, but it'll keep bugs off of it. Does it look awesome? No. Does it work? I don't know. We're just gonna experiment and see. This was one of the organic approaches, actually the no spray approach, to tackling bugs on apples. There are some good organic sprays you can use. There's also a kaolin clay you can spray. A lot of people swear by that. It's just a clay that will form like a powdery coating over the fruit that the bugs don't like, and it keeps the bugs out, and it's supposed to wash off really easily. I don't love the look of that. I mean, do I like the look of powder on my apples versus like bags in my tree? I don't know, maybe. It might be an approach we try next time. But I've got my little basket of bags here. Hopefully we have enough. And then as far as thinning the apples, it's just a time-consuming process. It's not hard, but you can see like this little branch right here. It ended up, there were 4 blooms. You can see 2 that didn't form right here and 2 that did. Imagine this little spindly branch trying to support the weight of 2 apples. Like that is just way too much. It might even be too much for just 1 apple, but we're gonna go with 1. So we're gonna choose the one that looks the best, which, you know, of course, that one looks good, the one that's a little bit bigger. If I can do this with one hand. You just pop off the fruit that you don't wanna keep and leave the one that you do want to keep. So each branch will be a little bit different. You know, branches that have a little bit more size to them, a little bit more strength, can support more apples. And I would probably err on choosing or keeping rather fewer apples than too many. When you keep less apples, they will size up better. The weight won't be as bad on the tree. It's just a good idea. Now these trees are a little bit older. When did we put this in? This might be their 5th year. So they've got some pretty strong branches on them, which is exciting. But like right in here, look at this one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 apples on this one branch. 1 up here and then a few down here. And I'll probably go down to 3 or 4 on this branch. And let me show you how easy these bags are to put on. Okay, so first of all, on this branch, you can see that there are some that didn't form up, 2 of them, that we're going to remove. And then there's 2 apples left, the nice large one and then this one, which looks like it might be trying to die. But we're going to take that one off and leave just this one right here. It looks so beautiful. Then we're going to take our bag that looks like this, put it over the top of the apple, and then we just pull these drawstrings. Just like that. So you can see how it tightens over the stem, yet the bag is expandable and this apple will have no trouble continuing to size up. And I suppose you could take these strings and tie them, but I don't think that that's necessary. It's pretty darn tight just the way it is. And it will be nice when we're ready to harvest to do one of these. Just pull on it, take it off, and harvest our apple. Our hopefully worm-free, clean apple. It's perfect. Okay, let's do one more area. So I'm just going to take off the little apples. And right here, there are 3 apples that I kept, 2 that I removed. I'm going to keep all 3 of these because they are all on individual little spurs here. Okay, now I'm going to bag them. Okay, so that one I ended up keeping 4, and that's what it looks like right there. So we are just going to continue on doing the same thing all the way around this tree. And I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to need to order more of these mesh bags. And maybe we can include a link down below. I just ordered them on Amazon. They were not incredibly expensive and they are reusable, which is great. And I can get them here within a very short window of time. So we may just get this one tree done. Depending on how many bags we have left, I might just order more and tackle the thinning and the bagging of the apples at the same time on the Honeycrisp later on. But anyway, let's get this one done. Well, I was grossly unprepared for this project. I didn't have near enough mesh bags. I made it a very short distance on just this one tree. I also didn't realize just how many apples were on these trees. It's just incredible. So I placed an order for more bags. They will be here tomorrow and we can continue on with this process, which is not a complicated one. It's just the time that you need to spend doing it. And it's just a one-time thing too with these mesh bags, hopefully. Hopefully it works and it's all great, because if we can skip one spraying anything, because when you're spraying a contact spray this time of year, organic or not, it's going to be a little bit riskier for, anything that might be out here, any kind of pollinator. So if we can eliminate spraying it all and eliminate needing to remember to come out here 4 different times to do it, and just spend a little bit of extra time. I mean, we're thinning the apples anyway. You may as well just spend a few extra seconds putting a bag over the apple that's still left there. I just think it's such a great option if your trees are small enough. I mean, this would not be a feasible thing on a larger scale for sure. And I'm only doing this with, well, these 2 trees, and then I should bag the apples on our arbor as well. We're gonna also need to take some time to thin out our peaches. I mean, these are just loaded as well. So I'm just gonna be working on that over the next several days, just as I have time. Maybe I'll just do like 1 tree at a time so it doesn't become too much. I just took that down to 3 peaches on here. And I didn't even do the whole branch. It's something that used to just like hurt me to have to pull something that could become food off of a tree that was actively trying to grow it, but it will be better for all the rest of the produce that's left on the trees, and it'll be better on the tree in the long run. And this is how far we made it. I did kind of this section right here into the center. So I did get that done, and we made it to here. So we got, I don't know, maybe not quite halfway, just under halfway. I need to get up in here a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna worry about a lot of the really tall ones up there, especially with the number that we've got down here, but I might even try to pop those off. Anyway, that's the approach I'm taking with the apples this year. So now let's take a look at the first couple of things we're gonna plant. James Britannia, called Safari Dusk. This has quickly become a favorite of mine. I was a little bit skeptical at first because when I very first saw the James Britannia plants coming out, they didn't have any color on them. First of all, I just saw leaves and I thought, well, I don't know. We'll see how these do. And they're meant to be a kind of a replacement for Bacopa. What's another name for Bacopa? Sutera maybe, or something like that? I might be completely wrong. Anyway, they're the little filler plants we used to always put in hanging baskets and containers. They have the little white flowers, or they had the little blue flowers as well. But they were a really tough one that if they ever dried down for any reason at all, they had an incredibly hard time recovering. Like a lot of times when your super petunias, let's say, you skip a day watering or accidentally miss one, it might wilt down a little bit, but you give it water, it perks right back up and continues on. But Bacopa is one that it dries down a little bit and you might lose it completely. It might just fizzle up and go away. So these are a really good option to replace those Bacopa in arrangements. And there's several in the series. There's this Safari Dusk here. There's also Safari Dawn, Safari Sky, and there might be one more. This one is my favorite though, out of the whole series. This one has the biggest flowers. This one seems to be the most robust. And it's included in one of the 2026 National Recipes of the Year. It's a real pretty one. It has a Super Bells in there and a Super Petunia Saffron Finch. But we're gonna find a good place out in the landscape to pop these in, just so I can show you progression of how these do this year. The other thing we've got in here is a perennial. It's a hardy geranium. We've already planted this exact one. We planted, I think, 8 or 10 of them out earlier this spring, the Carmina cranesbill. They're an amazing plant. All hardy geraniums are. I just love them because most of them will bloom all season. Most of them will get amazing fall color, and most of them are partially evergreen or evergreen completely. So you could call them a 4-season interest plant. And this particular one stays a little bit on the smaller side, 6 to 8 inches tall, 18 to 24 inches wide. They're hardy down to zone 4, and it says sun depart shade on the tag, but hardy geraniums can also take quite a lot more shade than you would think. They may not be as productive in the flower department, but they create a beautiful foliage canopy, and they're just amazing. I'll show you the ones I planted earlier this spring. We have to go to the west side for that. Okay, so this is interesting. I've got it in 2 different spots. One of them is freshly planted, so they're a lot smaller. One of them is, I planted it, I think 2 years ago, and it's a little bit bigger. So these are the Carminas I planted this spring. Look at, I've got a honeybee. You can see that these are in full-on shade right now. They get, well, a little bit of filtered, I guess. And they'll get a little bit more toward the very end of the day, like right underneath the tree canopy over here. But aren't they beautiful? They just form this such a sweet little, it's not a carpet, it's not a ground cover, but I don't know, they just fill in and look beautiful. And then the other ones that are older right down here. And these get, look at this. These get quite a lot more light. Look at how beautiful the flowers are. And you can see the leaf canopy that they form up. So I'm excited to have those over there grow up a little bit more because they will fill in like this. Maybe not quite as much because, again, the light that these get is a little bit more. But look at how gorgeous they are with the Empress. Well, that's an Empress Wu hosta. This is a Wu La La right here. The size of these leaves. And there's a witch hazel right there. But here are more hardy geraniums, different variety. These have a very pale pink bloom. I just think they're amazing. And I just want them everywhere. So my plan is to repeat more of them over on this side. I need to do a little cleanup while we're over here. You can see that the daffodil foliage has been removed. I need to come in and clean these up. We planted these this spring and they're looking pretty sad. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to dot those hardy geraniums right around the front part of this bed. Everything's doing really well though. You can see the Kennewick ivy, little ground cover we planted. Got little sweet blooms on it. Ooh, this plant got smashed somehow. Bummer. Since we're over here, let's just tackle this project. I'm going to go in and do some cut back and clean up of the plants that are currently here, and then we will plant our new geraniums. Okay, we got the geraniums in the ground. I decided to get these containers potted up too while we were at it. There's a couple of areas where we still have pansies left, so I popped in some really fun kind of shade, part shade loving things. So we've got a Surefire Rose Begonia and a Wicked Witch Coleus, which, as you know, both of these varieties get quite large, so we'll maybe have to keep their growth in check. Otherwise they might outcompete these two. This is a Sweet Caroline Medusa Green, which I have to say, when it first came out, I was unsure if I really liked it, but it's really grown on me, especially if I can keep it trimmed just a little bit more compact. I don't know if I would like the look if I let it like trail out and look kind of messy, but it looks really beautiful right now. And then there's a Laguna Royale Lilac Lobelia. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that lavender with the pink. So kind of a mishmash, but beautiful colors together. And I think once they grow and incorporate, they'll be absolutely stunning. And I love that chartreuse pop. It just kind of carries on the boxwood color. And then we got our geraniums planted. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just kind of want them to fill in and incorporate with the other things in here. I don't want it to necessarily look like a great big drift all together, but there'll be different textures and colors popping throughout, and I love it. And it was easier digging than I had anticipated. Usually in this flower bed where this maple tree is, it's a little bit harder to dig, and I didn't have my shovel with me, so I thought, well, I'll attempt it with the auger, and we did just fine. Pleasantly surprised. Okay, then we've got our pansies here, which will go out to Bethany's house. Now we're gonna go plant the James Britannia. Oh, I think I found the perfect spot to look at the color of the Safari Dusk up next to the Lady Gardner Rose. And these are the ones that we dug up from where the brick patio is now. when there used to be a little fence around it. Anyway, we had these 4 Lady Gardener roses. We dug them, brought them out here. They struggled because I wasn't able to get very many roots, but look at how beautiful they are now. We've also got a Kodiak Fresh Durvella and some, I think these are the Wizard of Oz Veronica. They're a dark purple. So when those are in bloom, and we've got this lavender along with this blushy pink, oh, it is perfection. Look at that. So we're just gonna do a drift right here. And I don't have any idea what we're gonna put in this space, but you know what, while we're at it, I'll show you these apples on the apple arch. Now this one, can't remember which one's which. This one doesn't have much. There's like 1 apple right there. Oh, 2, yeah, these are apples, bud. Yeah, these apple trees have done really, really well. This one's a little more productive in the fruit department this year, but I didn't really expect much of them this year anyway. So we'll have to thin this one for sure. Won't have to do any thinning on that one though. Isn't that amazing, bud? Yeah. So imagine these apple trees. We need to train this leader to go like this. Ew. Imagine this whole arch covered with apple trees and then apples hanging down.
Jeez.
Won't that be
like hanging down from there?
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, let's place them and plant them. Look at how absolutely gorgeous these colors are together. Oh my gosh, so pretty. I did go ahead and pop a couple in between the Veronica because I've got a couple that didn't come back quite as strong, and they'll be fine, they'll recover, but these will kind of fill in the gap. And then I popped them right there just so that that color kind of carries a little bit further down the flower bed here. I should pop something in between this sedum. I had a couple not come back. I spaced them really far. I don't know what I was doing here. Maybe I should condense the sedum over and put something else in, or I don't know. We'll see. Delphiniums that we transplanted from the cut flower garden are doing great. Look at them. Can you believe that? We started these from seed, put them in the cut flower garden, and then dug them up and had to move them over here. And all but one, and this one's fine. It's coming back, but it just kind of fizzled a little bit more than the others. But this combo is awesome too, the delphinium with that Lady Gardener rose. Beautiful. And we have time to get one more thing in the ground, so I'm gonna run back to the high tunnels, load up, and come back out with something else. Here's what we've got. Some of the Virtuoso Day Glow Yellow Dahlias, and these grow, let me grab a tag, I think like 16 inches tall, 15 to 18 inches tall. Right there, I think there's just such a beautiful clear yellow, and I wanna plant them up here because one, I think they're gonna go really pretty with this container full. And actually, this is where some of the Safari Dusk is. This is one of the 2026 national recipes. I think it's called Saffron Sunrise, Supertunia Saffron Finch, the Safari Dusk James Britannia, and Tropical Sunrise Super Bells. But I also love these yellow flag iris, I think is what they're called. I've enjoyed this color so much up here, and I'm gonna miss it when they're done. So I thought if we did like a little river of yellow right in here, and then the Supertunia Mini Vista white, that would be so eye-catching, I think, and bright and clear and fresh. Because just down the way, we've got a lot of pink and purple, and I could continue that down here. We might put some of that down this way as well, but this will just be a nice little refreshing spot. I love how this is forming up too as you look through here. Look at all of this in here. Can you believe none of this existed 4 years ago? None of it. Zero. That to me is wild. Okay, let's get these in the ground. I love this. I just absolutely love the pure white with the bright pure yellow. It's just so gorgeous. It's such a bright spot. Oh, so the dahlias, I did space quite a lot closer to one another than, of course, the mini vistas because those will continue to spread out. And I want to say I went a couple of feet between root balls on those. I think you could even go further than that, honestly. But this is definitely going to be a bright spot throughout the summer. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have this gorgeous sweeping Norway spruce right above it. And this is one of the Serbian spruce trees that we bought for the initial pond installation. 2 years ago, I went plant shopping and really loaded up with a lot of different options of things for that pond area because I wanted to have it look really pretty while everybody was still here after the pond installation. And we ended up using 5 of the Serbian spruce trees in that area. And we had a couple left, like 2 kind of crummy looking ones. And I think this is maybe the last one we planted and it looked kind of sketch. And Aaron was saying, like, are you sure you want to plant that out there? But I thought it just needs a minute or, 2 years. And that's about what it took. But now it's absolutely gorgeous. It's put on a bunch of new growth. Look at all the cones up top. Isn't that amazing? And the addition of that ginger wine 9 bark was really nice, I think, too. Add in that coppery red color. And you guys, that is going to do it for today's project. So happy with everything we got done, even though the main project of the day is the one we got the least done, the apple trees. But now I know what it's going to take to do it, and I've got everything coming. So this next weekend, I'll probably just plug away at getting that done and plug away at thinning the rest of the fruit trees. In fact, the nectarine, our oldest nectarine tree, is absolutely chock full of fruit. I've got to get after that one because that's my favorite fruit tree. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.